98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray. With you tonight. We'll be here until midnight. We'll be preempted by the Boston Bruins game tonight, coming up in just about a half hour. So I'll give you as many takes as I can for the next 30 minutes. And if you want to get on the line, the phone number is 617-779-0985. We're also on YouTube. Made our debut last night on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com, search the Sports Hub. Bing, bang, boom. You can watch it right there on your television app, your phone app, or even just on your desktop. So you can join the chat. I'm in there as well. But, you know, last night I kind of went on a rant about Robert Kraft, the Patriots, and how they need a mouthpiece. And just Gerard Mayo spilled juice all over himself. Had a really, really bad offseason. But my take was Robert Kraft has probably had the worst offseason. He's, unaware of things. A lot of blame put on Bill Belichick. The Dynasty documentary did no favors. And just talking about free agency. Yeah, players didn't want to come here because of his girlfriend. Just a little too transparent, right? Even when you go back to the Dynasty talking about the Malcolm Butler stuff, no one knows anything. Malcolm doesn't know, but all the owner knows, let me tell you. He wanted to let everybody know. So I was saying how the Patriots need a mouthpiece, and I was comparing it to the Boston Red Sox when they had Larry Lucchino as their mouthpiece. And we wake up today to find out the news that Larry Lucchino has passed away at the age of 78. And first, I feel like the Reaper. But second, right on cue. The Red Sox were winning 9-0 last night. They're trying different things. They have a new pitching coach. It's the last year, it sounds like, or at least the contract year for Alex Cora. And I just was talking about how Larry Lucchino could get right out there and speak for the team. He could be combative at times. He was polarizing. Oh, he'd have no comment and come right back and say, you know what, this is how I feel about it. And, he hated the Yankees. Oh, he hated them. That's all lost. It's lost in this town. It's lost in this town. Again, I'm 42, so when I was a kid, I heard things about Harry Sinden. I've heard Harry Sinden talk, and I always thought of him as the guy that represented the Boston Bruins. And years later, maybe it is Cam Neely that's kind of taken the torch from there. It was Chiarelli who tried to at least, but it's Neely. But as far as guys who were spokespersons for their team, Bill Belichick was number one. Bill Belichick was number one. But Larry Lucchino, at the height of it all, the Boston Red Sox, when ownership came over in 2001, Larry Lucchino was the guy. Lucchino was a part of the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry. This is the guy that was a part of 3 championships, a guy that helped rebuild Fenway Park. He was the heartbeat of everything that they did on and off the field. He was a part of it all. He faced the music. When they're the best team in the league, he faced it. When they were the worst team in the league, he was there. It's missing in this town. It's funny because we talked about it last night. Who's the most polarizing mouthpiece, or who's the biggest mouthpiece in Boston? It might be Joe Mazzulla. That was Scass's take. It might be Joe Mazzulla. But Larry Lucchino, who, oh man, you know what? I was glad. Now that I look back at it, there were times when I heard Lucchino, and I'm like, oh man, he's really shoving it down our throats today, let me tell you. But when I look back on it, man, he represented the Red Sox. And when I say represented, he bled red. He bled it. And I know he had stops. He helped create Camden Yards and had stops in San Diego and made his way to Boston. He had stops in different places. That guy was the heart of it, man. And to hear that he passed away, I'm making literally comparisons to the man the night before. And we find out today he passed away. Just, they're going to celebrate the 2004 Boston Red Sox this year on opening day. And it's been a really sad offseason for the Red Sox and for many reasons. I know a lot of people are upset for the on-the-field stuff, but off the field, the loss of Tim Wakefield hit everybody. You know, I mean, there's probably no better guy in the game than Tim Wakefield. But Larry Lucchino now, two huge cogs in the change of the Red Sox. You know, you go back to Wakefield in his days with Pittsburgh, gets released, comes to Boston, and just lit a fire under them. Was here through multiple championships. You know, got a contract every single year. Lucchino was the guy who kept it going, who made it bigger than it was, who challenged the New York Yankees, who finally broke the curse. The guy should be in the Hall of Fame. The impact he made on the Red Sox during the 2000s, we don't talk about it enough. We just don't. And I think that's what's missing in this town now. Belichick had it. There was no transparency with Belichick. It annoyed everybody. So now the flip side is, let's be so transparent that you're spilling the beans too much or spilling the orange juice. And people don't like when Joe Mazzulla chirps. Nobody likes that one. But he defends his team. Someone talks about being critical. Nope, he comes right at it. Neely? Is the fire still there? I wonder. But Sam Kennedy? I know that Larry Lucchino was probably his idol. And I know that he came along with Theo Epstein, which I didn't even bring up yet. No Larry Lucchino, no Theo Epstein. And maybe Larry was a big part of why Theo left. And Theo's mark on the game of baseball, winning championships with the Boston Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs, will be unmatched, breaking those kind of curses. But at least for the Red Sox, it's Larry Lucchino to thank on that one. Your thoughts on Larry Lucchino and the Red Sox at 617-779-0985. I do have some stuff on the Bruins coming up in just a little bit, and we're on YouTube. I'll read some of your chats as well. And just again, wanted to remember Larry Lucchino. Oh, just thinking back on it, challenging people, calling other people out, going at the Yankees. It was great. It was some of the best time in baseball, at least here. That stretch from essentially, because I know they took over in 01, but that 99 stretch to 2018, and I know Lucchino ended up going and helping out in other places, big part of the Jimmy Fund, really built everything that happened in Worcester. You want to go to Polar Park? That's a hell of a place. You want to bring the kids somewhere for a game? Go to Worcester. Look what's happened over there and what Larry Lucchino did for that. From Pawtucket to Worcester, people hated it. But you know what? You sit in those stands and you know what it's about. All you got to do is go up the Mass Pike. 30-minute ride. Beautiful park. Thank Larry Lucchino for that as well. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray. Again, the number here is 617-779-0985. We got the Bruins coming up next. Get into them right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. I'm going to hand things over to Judd Surratt and Bob Beers in about 10 minutes or so. Bees take on Nashville tonight. We're also on YouTube. Everyone has moved over from Twitch to YouTube, so I see everybody in there tonight. Chuck Olson's in there. Prince Humperdinck, who I always love. Einbein, Artie, all you guys. Thanks for joining the chat as well. I wanted to just mention Larry Lucchino in the path that, or just what he did for the Red Sox success and the path he made. Like, again, I just mentioned everything that's happened at Worcester. If you haven't been over there, that is a great take. Absolutely great take, and he was a part of that. And, I remember John Henry coming into the old Brighton studio that we were in. And basically, John Henry walked in, talked to Felger and Maz, and they were giving him some heat, and he goes, Larry Lucchino runs the Red Sox. I always felt that way. I know John Henry's in charge. He's the boss. He pays the bills. But it was Larry Lucchino who ran the Red Sox. It was. And just now that where the Red Sox are now, and basically the 20-year anniversary of the 2004 team, I think this guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Theo Epstein will be. You know who found Theo Epstein? Larry Lucchino. So your thoughts on that at 617-779-0985. I do want to pay homage to somebody else tonight who hung him up that I know some people have a connection to as well. We'll do that before we get out of here. Let's start with Patrick. He's on the pike. What's up, Patrick?
How you doing, Joe? Great to hear you. I can't wait to get my YouTube app working in the car.
Nice.
I can see you. Anyways, I had a quick yes or no question with a follow-up. Would the Patriots be better off with Mike Vrabel running the helm right now?
I think so, yes. To answer your question, I think yes, they'd be better because he's a coach with experience that can talk. And I think right now he'd be the mouthpiece for the team, which Bill Belichick was. So to answer your question, I do think that he would be an upgrade as far as the mouthpiece goes and the fact that he has experience.
Right. So here's my follow-up. You think that they didn't take him because Robert Kraft made a promise and he didn't want to spend the $10 million to get rid of Mayo? Or Wolf wants to control the coach? Or maybe Kraft does too? Or Wolf is intimidated by the physicality of Mr. Vrabel?
No, have we heard that before? I think that's actually funny. The caller mentioned that because I think he's so intimidating, right? It's just as far if we're comparing both, I think the Crafts wanted control back. They lost it. They didn't have control. They didn't. It's the same thing with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, right? You heard them talking about going to Robert Kraft's house, and when they asked Bill Belichick, and you watch the Dynasty, he even said it. Yeah, Tom made the right decision. He made the right decision because it gave Bill Belichick all the power back. The players were following Tom. The players weren't working with Bill Belichick's trainers. They were working with Tom Brady's trainers. I think the Crafts needed control back. Bill ran the team. Now the Crafts have the control, and they put someone in charge that they believe can lead the way and be a great leader. But it also opens them up to having to speak more, which Bill Belichick did beautifully, even though we all hated it. Lucchino did the same thing. Sometimes the things we didn't want to hear, he's the guy that had to say it. But yeah, to answer the question, I do think that if someone else was the head coach of the team, I think the offseason could have been a little bit better, meaning not misleading anyone. The overpromise, underdeliver, that kind of thing. So, yeah, to answer your question, I do. 617-779-0985. We got Richard in Newport. Hey, Richard.
Hey, talking about Larry Lucchino, he was one of those people when he came in to work with the Red Sox, he just knew how to talk about the team, sell it to the fans, and make everybody feel good about what was going on with the Red Sox. I think that's the great thing about him. He was on radio a lot. We all know that. He wasn't afraid of it, and he, as we can see, we don't have people like that today who are able to communicate like he did. He was an attorney from Baltimore or something. I'm not sure where, but he was a real smart guy. He knew how to sell to the fans, and lo and behold, they developed a great string of years for all of us to enjoy.
The best string of years. Not good.
Oh, yeah.
The best, and I appreciate your comment. The best. The best years of baseball of our lives. That's what Lucchino was. He laid the foundation to 3 World Series, 04, 07, and 13. He brought Theo Epstein over from San Diego, and they believed in him. They wanted him to be the general manager so he could go transform Fenway Park and fix that thing up. Right? It was a big part when he stepped down, I think, in 2015. And that was a part of Fenway Sports Group, then went to Pawtucket and eventually moved the team to Worcester in 2021. And was a chairman of the Jimmy Fund as well. After many of the battles that he faced throughout his career. But president of the Orioles, San Diego, as we mentioned, designed, or at least oversaw the design in both of those ballparks, Camden Yards and Petco. Wow. Think about the impact he's made for those two teams. During the best times in baseball, Larry Lucchino was a trailblazer. And we'll continue to see the path that he has led for years to come. 617-779-0985. I did want to get into something that happened with the Celtics today, but we'll take one more. We got Michael in Westboro. Hey, Michael.
Hi, Joe. How you doing?
Good, man.
Great show. I was at opening day in Worcester today, and they paid a very nice tribute to Larry Lucchino as well as to Tim Wakefield. And I just wanted to say you can feel the stamp of Larry Lucchino on the park in Worcester, just as you said. It really, I remember I've been a season ticket holder, and from day one when he was out on the field, it really has his presence and his stamp. It's
a wonderful ballpark. It really is, right? It's got the big rings on the outside. You walk in, it's spacious, right? It's got the feel of just a beautiful park and everything that they have going on in the outfield. It's all for the kids. It's great.
It was voted the best minor league ballpark in the country. So good for Worcester.
Today was opening day. I didn't know that. Was my buddy Ben DeCastro on the mic tonight.
They lost, unfortunately, in 10 innings, 2-0. But it was still great to see him. Great, cold out there, but it was great to be there, and it definitely felt like Larry Lucchino was there as well.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Great take if you get a chance. I know people want to. Well, we're going to be here till midnight tonight. So I know we got the Bruins game. Then after the game, we'll be here with you for the rest of the night, and we can continue to take your calls on it. One more person that I just wanted to, give them their flowers. Rajon Rondo announced his retirement today. And Rondo was a tremendous Boston Celtic. And a lot of people loved him. I think he was the smartest guy on the court. I do. I believe that. He didn't have to tell you that he was. But I think in the end, I look back at Rondo as a guy that should have been a Hall of Famer. And I think listen, I know a lot of people don't take a lot of stock into the NBA Hall of Fame because they do let almost everyone in. Although I don't think Rondo is going to make it, he should have. He had his own issues, own problems, off the court. Missed games with injuries. He won multiple championships, I believe, right? With the Lakers, too?
Yeah, Celtics and the Lakers.
Go figure that, huh? How many guys have won a championship with the Celtics and the Lakers? I'm sure there's a few. But this was Rajon Rondo, right? Who bled green, played on those the championship team, played in the NBA Finals for the Celtics multiple times.
Only one other player has won with the Celtics and the Lakers.
Ooh.
That would be Clyde Lavalette.
Who the what?
Who won his first championship with the Minneapolis Lakers in 1954, and then won with the Celtics in 63 and 64.
So Rondo's the guy. Rondo's the guy. I want to get into this a little bit later. Maybe we get 300 words out of that one. Rajon Rondo should have been a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's going to be. Hell of a basketball player though, and maybe the last of a breed. Oh, hey, that's the Bruins music. They're playing tonight. We haven't seen them for a bit. So you get Bruins in, JVR in, Lauko out, Lowry in, Grizzlick out, and Linus Ullmark is in net tonight. We'll hand things off to Judd Surratt and Bob Beers, who have the call of the game coming up next. I'm Joe Murray. We'll talk to you after the game until midnight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.